a lot of things for us, and that is why these conversations are very, very important. They are very critical. We know that along the coast, there are about 3 million people who are directly related to the fisheries activities or who depend largely on the fisheries resources. And so to have a conversation like this and 10% of Ghana's population will be left out would be very, very unfortunate. And that is why we have brought you here, for you to listen to them, what they have in place or in store for you. Now that they are campaigning, they are making a lot of promises. Or when we come, we'll build this landing bridge, we'll build harbor, we'll do this, the Premix fuel, solar powered outboard motor and all of that. Now, when they say that, subject them to critical proof. Ask them questions about how they are going to do that. And that is what this conversation is all about. We also ask questions about marine protected areas, the breeding places the spawning places for the fish. How are we protecting them? We also have plastic pollution. I mean, our fishers, they go fishing, and then a lot of them catch rubber, plastics. They don't even catch fish anymore. And so all of these things, how will the political parties deal with all of these issues as well? You know the Premix fuel wahala. I mean, people say that for months, they've not had Premix fuel. Are there solutions to that? Is it a situation that is currently happening or is being with us? And how do we resolve all of these things? We also have issues of child labor, child trafficking in our fishery spaces. People say that, well, traditionally, our fishers need to train their children so that they can really be able to go fishing like they are doing. Others say that, well, allow the children to go to school. How will the political parties address these things? Some, because of poverty, they have sold their children for like 10 cedis, 20 cedis, 100 cedis, and all of that. And people are trafficking these kids out of our jurisdiction. So these are the conversations this afternoon we are going to have live on JoyNews. So a very good evening to all of you and welcome to the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, where the last in the series of the Regional Political Parties Dialogue on Fisheries is taking place. We've been to the Central Region. We held it at the Center for National Culture, Cape Coast. We went to Takoradi and we held it at the Nat Hall. And then just yesterday we were in Keta in the Volta region and we held that forum, that discussion. And today we are in Accra. And this completes our series of engagement with our political parties on how the plans and strategies they have for the fisher folk. We know that about 3 million of Ghana's population depend directly on the fisheries resources. And it is important we have some conversations about that. And so this afternoon we're going to engage them. The fishers are here. They're going to ask them the critical questions about how they intend or their plans and policies they have for them. On my left is the APC running mate, Reverend Dr. Wolanyo Mensah. Let's give him a round of applause. He is an economist. We also have Ni Amasa Namwale. He is a former MP Dade Kotopon and a former Deputy Minister of Fisheries representing the NDC. Let's give him a round of applause. And then from the MPP, we have Ibrahim Ayala Taki. He is also representing the MPP in this dialogue. Let's give him a round of applause. Now, in the course of this dialogue, we will give the opportunity to you, the fishers, to ask all the critical questions about the fisheries sector. We're going to have conversations about the much talked about Premix fuel. It's been with us for some time. Many of you say that for months you've not had Premix fuel. You say that there are political involvements in the issues of Premix fuel. You say that people are also hoarding. We've also had instances in some of our coasts where, some places have been set ablaze as a result of hoarding of the Premix fuel. We also have conversations about child labor and child trafficking, whether it is due to poverty, that is why people are trafficking their children, and then they are engaging their children in child labor when these kids are supposed to go to school. For we at Joy FM, we are very, very excited to engage you in this kind of dialogue. Now, without further ado, let's kickstart this conversation. And let me ask you for your preliminary remarks. What is currently happening as far as the fisheries sector is concerned? I mean, what has come to your attention?
Yeah, thank you very much. Good evening to us all, especially the Nime and Name and all protocol observers.
So forgive me, because of the nature of this conversation, we will also be speaking Ga. When they speak the English, we'll try as much as possible to make you understand what they are saying in Ga as well.
Fundamentally, the fisheries industries falls under the blue economy. And today, we are looking at the blue economy in perspective. I think for some time now, we, as a country, have decided to undermine the fisheries industry and vis-a-vis the fisher folks. I believe the fisheries industry falls under the agriculture sector, and that needs a total overhaul. Currently there is a reduction of fish production from around 5.5% to 1.5%. And I think that is so alarming. And so there is the need for us to look at the legal and economic engineering regimes so that the law of diminishing returns that have set in, that contributed towards the reductions in the fisheries industry, will be curtailed. We also need a strong legal reforms that will definitely help us to overcome these challenges. Currently, Ghana is experiencing economic depression, and for that matter, the fisher folks and the fisheries industries is going through some level of crisis because as a country, over the years, we failed to pay particular attentions and to develop their capacities and the interest. And so it has contributed towards a fall in the productions of fisheries. Now, you look at it generally that we need to trade intelligently. And so if you look at it from the angle of the post-harvest losses, where most of these fishes that we have really harvested, we are not able to have a good value for them simply because we lack storage facilities and we lack accessible markets. And so there is a need for us to do that kind of marketing engineering where we'll be able to develop markets, where we'll be able to align resources to develop the fisheries industry. We can link it to the African Continental Free Trade Area as well. Because if you look at the African Continental Free Trade Area that Ghana is now the headquarters, we have not made any provision for the fisheries industry. And we have continued to see the fisheries industry as if it is meant for school dropouts. Meanwhile, it is a full profession. And that profession, until we pay attention to it and we respect those who are into those industries, Ghana can never see any meaningful progress as far as the fisheries industry is concerned. Fisheries in Africa itself needs proactive public conversations. So there is a need for us to look at it that it's a new economy, it's an emerging economy that needs total attention. And for economic endowment, let's propagate cross-border aggregations to promote intra-African trade. That needs a strong contemporary scientific approach. And I believe definitely if you are able to align resources effectively and efficiently and be able to value those who are into this industry, definitely Ghana will be laughing at the right side of our mouth. Thank you.
Okay, so that is Reverend Dr. Walanyo Mensah, running mate of the APC, right? Okay, so giving us his perspective and his thoughts. Let me go to the former Deputy Minister of Fisheries. I'm sure that you are no stranger to this kind of conversation about the fisheries sector. Tell me your thoughts about the fisheries sector in general. What's currently happening?
Let me greet viewers and listeners here, the audience. Let me greet you. God bless you all for tuning into Joy News to listen to this program. Well, currently we seeing in the fisheries sector nose diving of the fisheries economy, in the sense that the fishermen have been frustrated. They have not been given direction. They have not been given training. They have not been given advice as to what to do. As we're speaking now, there is this close season between 2 and 3 months at the wishes of the minister.
Why do you say that the wishes of the minister?
At the wishes of the minister, it must be backed by scientific proof that this time.
Anyway, we'll have a full conversation on the close season, so go on.
So, dialoguing with the fishermen, calling them to know their challenges. These are some of the things that are lacking. The fishermen had landing beaches, whereby we form landing beach committees to manage the premix fuel for the fisher to use to go to sea, and then bring fish. And this thing was put in the hands of the fishermen. I was directly involved in formation of the landing beach committees, and they all know the membership of the landing beach committee, the chief fisherman, and the woman who, one woman from the fishing industry, one woman from the community, all those fishermen, those committee, where they were managing the premix fuel, so that the profit of the premix fuel, they will use it for community development. Some build clinics, some build schools, some buy decks for the schools, and some pay school fees for their children, like scholarship scheme and all those things. And this government came, and then they decided to divert the premix fuel to give it to their own party members, agents. I was expecting the government to create jobs so that their agents will go and work there and leave the fishermen to manage their premix fuel. But this government did not do that. They brought the party boys, the party Golo boys, to go and manage the premix fuel. So they are managing the premix fuel and then selling the premix fuel at exorbitant prices to the fisher folks.
They are middlemen.
They are agents. They are not middlemen. They are agents of the MPP. Agents of the MPP. No premix fuel goes to anybody apart from agents of the MPP. Agents of the government, the party in power, managing the premix fuel at the fishing communities. Whether the landing beach committees exist or not, I don't know as at now. But because the landing beach committees were backed by law, we made a regulation to back the landing beach committee. But this government is so lawless that they throw it to the winds. All they are interested in is profit for their party boys. Because the party boys have no job. This is the only thing that they will do to get money. Instead of you, the government, you create job for them. You create an enabling environment for them to go into other sectors of the economy and leave the premix fuel for the fishermen. Another headache too is the outboard motors. The outboard motors, normally the Ghanaian fisher folks, they are interested in the 40 horsepower.
40 horsepower. 40
horsepower outboard motors. These are outboard motors that, during our time, we make sure we negotiate with Japan through the Japan motors, because the Japan company deal only with Japan motors because they are their agent. You cannot bring it anywhere. And mind you, the 40 horsepower outboard motor line of production is only purposely for Ghana, because a lot of research went into it with the fisher folks, problems, and then they came out with that unique 40 horsepower outboard motor, and that is for the Ghana fisheries industry. Now the fishermen cannot access it. Our time, when we tell Japan motors, we need about 3,000 outboard motors or 2,000 outboard motors. Our government will pay Japan motors. Then when we pay them, we bring the outboard motors to our end, and then the fisher folks will come and buy from us. Some time ago, we were giving it on credit, but most of them defaulted in payment. So what we did was that we have to subsidize. We pay half of the price, and then the fisher folks also pay.
So like I indicated to you, we'll have a full conversation on the premix and outboard motor. So these are preliminary.
Another challenge At the pleasure of the Minister of Fisheries, there is closing season and opening season.
Okay.
This closing season, you close it for 3 months. I believe, and it is my real belief, that God, in His wisdom, knows that the black man will never rest. He will continue to work and work and work and work. So God gave us malaria, so that when we are sick, we stay at home, treat our malaria. So I will rest for about 2 weeks or 1 week. Now we have malaria medication. So the black man will never rest. He will work. So even if you are going to close the season, at least it should be scientifically based. And then we know that, 1 month we close the season for the fisherman to rest. The 2 months, you should give the fisherman alternate livelihood. But if he doesn't go to fishing, he will not eat. He will not get money into the pocket. So what alternative livelihood measures have you put in place for the fishermen?
So currently there is nothing like that?
I'm yet to see one.
Okay.
I'm yet to see one.
So just as I told you, these are preliminary remarks, so I will let you hold on and then
my last but not least.
Okay.
The women that also help the fishermen. When they bring the fish.
The fish processors?
Yes, the fish processors. What measures have this government put in place to make sure that they too do their business with all alacrity, with all the financial backing? These are some of my questions.
So these are your but I'll give you a minute to sum it up in Ghana.
Okay.
So just a minute. Don't go beyond 1 minute so that I will let mine. Okay. Yes, so a minute to sum up what you
but noni inwioji noni wana gba titiji neke Premix fuele noni akaya woe both here and the inland. But we are in the Greater Accra, so let me speak only about the coastal marine fishing. What Premix and wakaya woe tujukwe Beni NDC yo where Landing Beach Committee ni wakeneke petrol ne akehame ni Landing Beach Committee ye wula che ke wule ke me your community emiye wo fe bena fe ni nye control ne ke petrol ne wo petrol ke ba poe na kata me twa keke wo bia ma ba petrol ba akeba ka wo petrol tan make a request ka akeba ke akantuni sipi antone ne ke petrol ne isena kwa wole ni amame ho ame petrol to ni se na mo me ke few schools me ke few clinic me ke few scholarship ha me bi ke school kan bi agbene MPP government ni sane ku efe nu chumo ame ke 1 factory ame mama factory say koni ame party goro say party boy say ni be ni na nuchumo na be no ko fe mo na ma atwu ni ejeme ake factory hand po sha be fe nuchu ame ha me ni amekeneke fishing Landing Beach Committee Premix na ke Premix we ba ha me ameje wole ke wole anyemme ke wole wokume committee na fi ameje na ka wokume fe ejeme ni ameke Premix ha MPP hoodlum say goro boy say ni amemo no na me hole smuggling ame ha anye nakajiro okake nakanie ejiro koni egba wula na ojuba noni ji ekonji society alote machine te choleten
okay
machine
be rounding up.
Come again.
Be rounding up.
Naka society ni ke ya wo Ghana ne 40 horsepower Ghana government ke Japan government Yamaha bi ewie ni Ghana pe ak 40 horsepower ba ni many few na ji Japan motor ji am agent ye Ghana ne ni what time me what can me wi ak 1000 agba motor equal 3000 or 2000 keke what pay ka ke ba keke what subsidize ko hele $2,000 say eke what subsidize $100,000 won hanye wo few na kamagiri bi afia be na fe nye he sibi antone wona na agba motor enye na apo nye ba he afine in the body program jack one me time work few show nka wa Babua na babao ni chonye. Inyamfonipo ya mfone no man madie matwonye. You are law wakehanye. Nye pure. Wo agbene aka aba nya nsho ngamo.
Okay.
Ni nsho ngamo mini dwomo yo se. Mini research afi na akenga nsho. Ni ko ba nya nsho po de nche. Bwe ngale nyonkome koni wole ekadwo ame. Koni nyojie nyokani bie ni oka o nga nsho ekwa nyojie telo nyojie enyo. Kono ne hwe wole sani otose ame ye gbekokro no nuchumo na bana amene ba ya medan ka si bani o ba gbele nsho eko. Si otose ko ame ye no ko oka kuma ka o fe store ha me na me amekwe alo amefe no ko ni amene ba amena. Lojuno no ke
all right.
Ye da agba ni sana na ka jeme sana kwe. Agbere ye hu ni kanyeke lu eba nyanya fi agency eko yi. Kanyeke lu eba ka mi ba o ho ha mi o ba ho ha yo e nye ye nye ngame o na ko wole ngame nyolo ngame ten. Okwa ha yo ani yo landi bichalo ye ni yo jeme na me ba ho ame ha ma alo kutu mbi ye na ka ye nwe sana kwa me ya tafa wa bia fe ye gbo sani na kan ye amenya me ye hawo dike ameba ameka mini ameka shika afa mini ahanye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Kokko ni wo kutuku oni ni amashika no.
Thank you.
Na kajibo ni sana afa.
Ni you are done. Let me get to your perspective. I mean, I didn't want us to start with the Premix, but it looks as if that is a groove that we have entered already. So just give me your perspective, and then we'll begin from the issue of Premix fuel, how the MPP administration would deal with it if given the nod to govern this country again.
A very good afternoon to your humble viewers out there. Most especially my Nime and then my fathers in this gathering. About me, Nime ke name ni ibakbeshe biya kenche me fen yo biene. As with every sector, there would be challenges. Now, when you look at the fishing industry as a whole, which contributes 3% to our GDP in Ghana, just like you earlier started, close to 3 million people are into this particular industry. So this particular industry is so wide and vast and big that every government, depending who is in charge, needs to take a very good look at this particular sector. Now, typically the MPP government will not sat there aloof. Now, when you look at, just like every sector we have, it's bound by your efficiency or your records with respect to, so when you take the fishing industry, for example, with respect to the fish production values you have from 2014 up to this time, I'm sure my dad here was trying to give us a couple of the values. Now, when you look at the actual values in terms of fish production, between 2014 and then 2022, I just want to use 2022 as a yardstick. Right. Clearly, with every sector, you need your facts to back it, whether it is going down or whether it is going up. That is the point. So for a fish industry or the fishing sector we have, you first have to look at the level of fish production. Let's look at the figures in terms of metric tons. What we have, is it going up, is it going down? Now, when you look at the values between 2014 and 2022, averagely, the amount of fish production appears to be going up and up and up.
So you mean that it's not dwindling?
It is not dwindling when you look at the figures closely. For example, you look at 2014, that's 374,000 approximately. I'm using approximate figures. When you look at 2014, that is 374,000 metric tons of fish production produced. And then you compare it with 2022, that's close to 600,000. I'm just using the approximate figures. Clearly, you see there is an approximation. So in as much as in every sector, like I started, I keep emphasizing, every country with increasing population, there is bound to be fresh challenges. Same applies to the fishing sector. So it's not surprising. I'm sure we are going to look at it one by one with respect to the closed season, the premix issues, and what have you.
Obviously,
this
deal
being
with them.
my preliminary issues. So we'll look at it one after the other, and then we'll look at what the MPP as a government will be able to do. So from the beginning in my introduction, you will clearly see that the fish production is increasing per the facts and figures we have available. So as an MPP government, I'm sure my second, I'll be able to give you what the MPP government has been able to do to our fathers and then our mothers who are fisher folks. What has the MPP done, which we shall look at it, and then we take it from there.
Okay, so thank you very much, Ayala, right?
Sure.
Okay, so let me begin with you again on the premix and the issue of premix fuel. Okay. What's the record of the NPP in the Greater Accra region, and what would you do should you be given another nod to govern this country? Because people have been complaining about hoarding, the fact that they are not getting premix fuel for weeks, for months, and all of that. Why have we come to this situation, and what is the MPP administration going to do differently to arrest the situation?
I'm sure coming to this hall, and you pass through Jamestown, you've seen a very beautiful harbor there. I'm sure almost all of us have seen a very beautiful harbor, clearly built by this same government.
But is it not true that there is a harbor in Jamestown? Wait. So we'll allow you. We'll allow you the opportunity to ask questions. But what he said that a harbor has been built. Is it a fact that a harbor has been built in Jamestown? Is it a harbor? It's okay. So keep calm and note your concerns down. So Ibrahim, go on. So exercise some patience. Keep calm. So go on. Relax. It's okay. Okay, all right. Go on. Ibrahim, go on.
I deliberately refocused my attention on this beautiful harbor we are all seeing in this constituency.
Please. Hello. I know that. Hello. Please. Relax. Okay. All right. So Ibrahim, let's go on. Go on with the conversation.
Now, I made a point about
tempers are obviously, we are trying to calm them down, and issues about the fisheries sector obviously comes with a lot of exchanges and a lot of anger. So I understand them. So we are trying to calm them, and then we'll continue with this dialogue and conversation. So relax. So the point that was made by the MPP rep was that there is a fishing harbor that has been built in Jamestown. And obviously there are some people that do have concerns with this. But so sit down, relax, and then we can go on with it. So it's okay. We will give you the opportunity to ask your questions. So Ibrahim.
So you see,
yes.
I made reference to the beautiful edifice at.
Go on.
I made reference to the beautiful edifice at Jamestown. Unless it comes down, let them come.
Okay, so we want to take a very quick break. We'll be back to continue with this dialogue. We are going on a short break. We'll be back with this dialogue. Jamestown, we've told our audience that when someone makes a point and you disagree with that point the person has made, what you do is that you note that point down, that concern down. So for instance, if you believe that no harbor has been built in Jamestown, just note it down. When it comes to question time, raise your hand and then say that you said that there was a beautiful harbor that has been built in Jamestown. It is a lie. There is nothing in Jamestown that has been built. Then we can make progress. I hope we are all clear. So if you are happy, let's give ourselves a round of applause. All right, so we'll go to you, right, and we're on that conversation about Premix, sure. And so let's address it. Sure. What's the MPP's record, sure, and what do you intend to do when given the opportunity to govern this country again?
I made that reference to the beautiful edifice at Jamestown, to the effect that in every government, we vote governments to give us results. We vote governments who promises and who are supposed to renege on their promises. Every government is supposed to make sure every promise they give to the good people of this country, they should be able to fulfill that. Now, when you go straight to the 2012 manifesto of the NDC, 2012 manifesto, page 53, there is clearly a promise.
So you are referring to the NDC manifesto in 2012?
Okay. I'm making reference to the NDC's manifesto in 2012, page 53 specifically. Okay. You will agree with me that it is this same John Mahama seeking our mandate today who was president by then. He gave us this manifesto. He gave my fathers his manifesto. He promised my good people, he promised my good fathers in page 53 that he was going to build the beautiful edifice we are seeing today. Fast forward between 2012 and 2016, this same John Mahama failed to fulfill this particular promise, as stated in his own manifesto. Okay. That is why I made that reference to the point that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the MPP government promised to build the Jamestown beautiful edifice we are seeing today. I'm sure a few meters away from here, you will be able to see that beautiful edifice. I'm sure this is one of the brochures I'm holding here to represent the Jamestown beautiful edifice here. I'm sure all of us in this room are going to benefit from that edifice. It doesn't matter whether you are NDC, you are MPP, you are PPP, we are all going to benefit from that beautiful Chuena Maya Jamestown. That is the only point I'm trying to make.
Okay, point well made. Let's move on to the issue of Premix.
That same point, that same edifice you see at Jamestown.
Stop talking about the edifice and then let's go to the Premix.
Edifice you see at Jamestown, you are clearly seeing it at Elmina too. And several of these edifices clearly around this country, that shows to benefit, that gives clearly to our fathers here that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government will not sit down aloof and watch the fishing industry go down to the drain. That is the point I'm making. Now to the Premix.
Okay.
Right from Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the issue of Premix distribution has always been a problem in the fishing industry. It doesn't matter which government is in government. It doesn't matter which party is in government. But the issue is that we need to look at, I'm happy about your question, that what is the MPP's track record in terms of the Premix distribution to our wonderful fathers here. Like I have enumerated, when it comes to Premix, we have identified it as a major issue for our farmers. So as a government, now let's look at the facts and figures with respect to distribution of Premix. Now from 2024, that is today, December 2024, when it comes to the distribution of Premix, government has been able to distribute close to, I'm just using approximate figures, close to 22 million liters of Premix to our fisher folks here. That is not to say.
So the fish processor is saying, "Hey,
I'm coming.
It means that she's expressed some surprise." So you go on.
That is not to say that it satisfies everybody in this country it is slightly closer to the average distribution figure that will be close for our fathers here. So the MPP government, being truthful to our fathers here, wouldn't say that we have distributed premix to our fathers here. These are the records of the MPP, especially when it comes to the figures. Now, the 22 million liters that I have mentioned here, it is clearly even more than or even better than any other government we have experienced in this country with respect to the fishing industry. Again, for the premix, under Minister Afolekwe, what did she do about the issue of premix diversion, which I'm sure my fathers will be raising? I'm sure my dad here too raised the issue about premix diversions and what have you. Now, clearly, as MPP government, we didn't sit aloof and watch premix being diverted over there. I've already made a point that this is an issue right from Nkrumah. Under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Minister Afolekwe, they instituted the software tracking system on our premix tracks we have around this country. That is under Madam Afolekwe. Again, you look at the figures between 2017 and 2018, there was a clear shift. There was a clear shift in figures that, okay, premix diversion is clearly coming down. Again, as we speak today, there is what we call an automated premix diversion system in place under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government, just to curb down the premix diversion issues. We have close to 50 completed automated centers across this country, not to say the whole country. It is a process. They are in stages. Now back to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's vision in curbing that.
I'll come there, but let me ask you a direct question.
Very
so,
well.
In the face of all of this that you have enumerated, they complain of hoarding, like people that are not supposed to get the premix fuel, they are the ones that the premix fuel go to. They say that onion sellers, people that have nothing to do with fishing, still get the premix fuel and they sell it to them at exorbitant prices. And again, they say that the issue of diversion is also quite high. And to cap it all, the premix fuel for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, some of the landing beaches have not had premix fuel. How do you address it?
Now, I want to speak down to address this particular one. Now, premix diversion, especially when it comes to committees, Niko premix, no. The committee we have in Ashedu Keteke today here, it's multifaceted. Can get multifaceted. The niche one can be many form of the committee. Niko premix, no, ye gamashi bi antone no nkebo you one. NDCB yemi, MPPB yemi. PPPB yemi. So it doesn't support the points they are making. It's solely made up of Goro boys of MPP. It is definitely not true. Esa ni ekole matter TV na lo matter radio no ni machema be or what have you. Clearly, my fathers here will agree with me. The 3 teams that are monitoring, the 3 teams said equal were premix and or shana amount on any kebu. That is team A, team B, team C. I'm a fan NDCB yemi, PPPB yemi, CPPB yemi. All these parties say yemi a manager premix anywhere yo. So it is never true. Ake MPPB pe jimeni manager the premix anywhere yo Ghana. Number 2 points in my make it jake ke okwe committee. Once again, committee yicho A B C D F fisherman ji money damona. So it is equally not true. What committee said no J wole meni no J and quali ashedi keteke no watane meni no aloka okwa group say A B C yiche wole meni alo wala che meni. So it is equally not true.
Okay, so now you were telling me, but let the mic go close to your your mouth.
All right.
So you were telling me in 2 minutes. You were about telling me the vision of the MPP flag bearer. What will the MPP flag bearer do differently from what we are currently witnessing?
Thank you. Clearly, wafo shiki president ni amemba kwe wa problems wo. Nika ebana problem isani e solve ekochi Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. Mini je vision Dr. Mahmoud Baumia wana wali yake is going to move gradually away from premix kla.
What is he going to do?
Again, quite recently, some few weeks ago, a test run solar panels, solar outboard motors. It is a test run, a statical. It is a test run. A statical biane. I'm not on any cable you on a show a loso niba ne about bele. Just after the test run, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, under his presidency, he is going to gradually move away from the premix, the solar outboard motors. And he sure can wafe what tabiene, wabana, what penjole, wabaya, where the Ojobadians.
Okay, all right. Oh, you are done. So what Mr. Ayala has told us right now is that Dr. Mahmoud Baumia is currently championing solar-powered outboard motor, where they've started with some trials, and they've done some in the central region, the western region, and the greater Accra region, where, if given the nod, they are now going to establish other centers to enable them drive this thing, and this will be a gradual shift from the premix fuel challenges that we do have. Let me get to Ni Amasanda Mwale. I'm sure you've been listening to Mr. Ayala from the MPP with some bated breath. You have a few?
Me every sang ne me normally lele afi landing beach. Niji ama landing beach Jamestown ama lele ni bedi atiagbe na mi indwomo Benjamin. She said me need the radio program when I came back home. Nana do care le dwen ni abafi. She is not true. Draw we say can be a fan minia masana mwale. If I could be in Holland pen, inti majiano, si yako Holland pen. Na can payment of the drawing say like a fee landing na can habo minia masama minti pay as a deputy minister. You pay 550,000 euros. Papako actually Charles Papo meleji Dutch company any fee drawings here. I'm an agent here Ghana. Charles Papo in your telephone number man in Kiambu. Wo lele moku Johnson moku buyoda. Wo Jenny is something ni what fako inani what fa onani ye ni moku we ba femini e ba gbe na awie Premix sani nonu iwoji bianton ne no ni gba ola na ji Premix e neke solar outboard motors can be a fan je noko ni egbe yi like from the year 2028 Malaysia Bruchi I use hydrocarbon ni petrol ake petrol wo chone mi don and I use solar chone ke electric chone na kano jele fen outboard motors se fen a test run solar ke electric outboard motors wo enen wo ba fe and this go ba fe ji wo ke specification ba Yamaha bi ake won taw electric outboard motor
please do mix it for me. Do mix it for me because of my audience as well.
Okay, what I'm saying is that it is true that there is a Jamestown harbor.
Okay.
But Nanado is not the originator. Okay. Me, Nia Masana Mwale, I went and paid 550,000 euros for the drawings of the harbor.
So
all the landing beaches, the 13.
At that time, you were a deputy minister of Fisheries.
I was a deputy minister. That is what took me to Holland for the first time, for the first and the last time.
But is he saying that
no,
they built it or they were the originators?
I am correcting something that is in Ghana. Because I went to a TV station and I was told that Nanado, when he was opening, said he thought of it and did it. Okay. And I said, that is not true. The drawings, I went and paid it. In actual fact, it was President Kufuor who started it gradually. And he even published it in a certain document, a certain magazine that he has finished. And I went, as a deputy minister, I refuted that thing. And then we also help. Charles Papa was their agent. We also help, and we're trying to do it. So we did a lot of networking, we did a lot of payment, we did a lot of drawings, we did a lot of things. So if it comes to Nanado's time, and he has built it, just like the flyovers that we started and he has finished. So I'm correcting that notion that he is the originator of it. He is not the originator of it. That's what I was trying to correct. I was saying that in UK, by 2028, they are going to eliminate hydrocarbon vehicles. That all their motor vehicles in UK is going to run on solar and electricity. And the same way, all over the world, people are testing the use of solar and electric battery-powered machines. Even aeroplanes are trying to use solar.
So from your perspective, is it a viable thing?
What I'm saying is that Dr. Baumu Baumia is going for low-lying fruits. He's going for a low-lying fruit.
Why?
Because he is not the originator. He knows that whether you like it or not, it's bound to happen. But February tomorrow, buy and show me.
But he's starting something. Even if it is about...
buy and show me. Listen to me. Buy and show me. The river, the stream will end up in the sea. So whether Dr. Baumia is alive or he's not alive, whether he's a Ghanaian or he's not a Ghanaian, whether he was a tribal or he's not a tribal, solar and electric powered machines are about to come.
So my question to you is that, is it a good venture, and will the NDC
He's lying that he's bringing it.
But the trials
do you know we have
done.
solar vehicles, solar cars in Ghana here?
Yes.
Do you know that?
Yes. But we are talking in terms of the solar powered outboard motor.
Even before Dr. Baumia Baumia became a flag bearer, we are having, I know a friend of mine whose father has a solar car, Elon Musk car in Ghana here.
Yeah, so you are speaking about cars, but this is happening.
I'm telling you that the man is not being truthful. He's going for a low light. Like you wake up and say, definitely the wind will blow. The wind is bound to blow. The wind is bound to blow. So he shouldn't throw dust into the eyes of Ghanaians. Nigeria will have solar cars. They will have electric powered cars. The same thing Togo. The same thing Ghana.
But Mr. Namwale, what currently we are talking about is solar powered outboard motor. For the cars.
And
cars.
It is bound to happen before Maumi Baumia came in. But we are doing it already.
Okay.
He's not original. We are doing it already.
Okay.
Don't you have solar watches?
We do.
Don't you have solar?
But specifically, we are referring to solar powered outboard motors.
Listen to what I'm saying. I say it is about we have solar powered outboard motors all over, being test run
in Ghana.
I say all over the world.
Okay, but we are speaking to the situation in Ghana.
And I'm saying that he's going for the low-lying fruit.
Okay,
just like Rollins will say, I'll make sure you get ATM to draw cash. Whether Rollins is alive or not, ATM will come to Ghana. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so
get my point.
Okay, so
my point is that Dr. Baumia is being dishonest.
Okay. So let's
being dishonest. Let's take whether he likes it or not, whether he's the president or not president. These things are bound to happen.
So assuming that he is being dishonest, what is the NDC's position? Because you say that it's practiced all over.
I say what our position is that we are going to commission the Yamaha company, because the Yamaha line. The Yamaha line of production. No, I can produce outboard motor. A research now fail. 40 horsepower outboard motor. Ghana pay a few. The line of production is only for Ghana. So once that line of production is only for Ghana, all we need to say is that now, instead of putting hydrocarbon or putting fuel, we want you to manufacture one for us that will use electric and solar panels. That's all what we can do.
Okay.
This is no big deal.
Okay. So how do you deal with the issue of premix fuel? Now you are mentioning that you commission.
No, as at now, these are futuristic.
Okay.
When you tell them to do it for you, they will definitely do it for you. You understand?
Yeah.
For the
40 horsepower.
40 horsepower. There are other horsepower that they are test running all over the place to be sure that, because hydrocarbon will be a thing of the past in future.
All right.
As at now, we are using the premix fuel.
Okay.
So this is what the fisherman must not wait for the next 10 years or 15 years to benefit from the premix. The premix landing beach committees. I'm not talking about politics. Okay, will achieve many divertor premix say that can make premix be a chairman. The mean like a premix chairman, but a new gule, near a landing beach committee say, will achieve a chairman, new gule, new from another committee out of the law, outside of the law. I regulation can have landing beach committee. I'm a use no don't. I'm a go for a fan. You're about NDCBM and PPBM. No, na peji. But like a premise I had July. That is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not talking about whether NDC that is not what I'm talking about.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. So that is Nia Masanda Mwale, former Deputy Minister of Fisheries representing the NDC on this dialogue. Let's go to the running mates of the APC. Your thoughts and what you will do to resolve this premix fuel conundrum.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think by and large
you've listened to the two.
Exactly. We have gradually reduced these serious national issues to partisan politics. And reducing it to partisan politics is also part of the problem. Because I believe, say, we already have fishermen and fisher folks. So what we need to do is that anytime government rolls out a policy, he needs to use the existing structures. But what I've observed is that anytime government wanted to do something, if it's MPP, they want to do something, then they set up a committee. And that committee will be mostly the party members. And so at the end of the day, people who are supposed to have access to this premix never get it. So the politicization of this fisheries industry vis-a-vis the premix fuel is part of the major problem that is hindering the progress of the industry. I believe the industry has been engulfed with nepotism, favoritism, cronyism, and to some extent tribalism. And until we are able to see ourselves as Ghanaians and not seeing yourself as NDC or MPP, we'll continue having these problems without solving it. And I believe, say, premix, definitely, premix is the engine of growth as far as the fishery industry is concerned. And we must allow the product to go to those who need it. But we have created governance within the system. And this governance, people who are party people, they manage, anytime something good is coming, they create a committee. Then that committee, you have a party person that is going to manage. So instead of the product to go into the fisher folks, fishermen who have their already associations, they will never get it. They will rather be begging these party people for a small premix fuel. So I think that we need to reason and see ourselves as Ghanaian, fight for ourselves, because we are all from the coastal areas, from Keta, Ada, Jamestown's over here, Teshia, all of this. And I believe, say, the earlier we started this conversation, the better. If we continue doing party A, party B, we will never go anywhere. It is we who will be affected. Politicians will always have their way.
All right, thank you very much. So that is the running mate to the APC presidential candidates in the 2024 elections, Dr. Walanyo Mensah. So let's deal with the issue of close season. Let me start with Reverend. Close season. People appear to be divided. One party says that close season is good, So let's continue. The other party says, well, it's not born out of any scientific research, and so why do we even allow it to continue? There are others who say that, well, it's brought untold hardship to the fisher folk. Once they close the season, there are no alternative livelihood for them, and so they go hungry. Let me see how you will handle the close season. Is it something that you scrap off, or you allow it to remain and then review it?
I think the close season is a welcoming idea, but definitely it will allow the sea to rest at a time, and also allow the fingerlings to also grow. And so we cannot continue working 24 hours, 7 days a week, and 31 days a month.
So you mean that the 24-hour economy cannot happen in the sea?
No, not at all. It cannot happen because you can't use the sea like that. If you do that, definitely you put other living organisms under jeopardy. So there is the need for us to tread cautiously. So I believe that the close season is welcoming. And what we needed to do is that we need to develop a scheme. And these schemes should be able to give an alternative livelihood to the fisher folks. That is what I'm saying. We don't have a policy to really develop the welfare of our fishermen. And we think that it's a job that don't need any attention. That is where we as a country, we went wrong. So let's develop a scheme. And this scheme, we can set up microfinance organizations. And these microfinance organizations, at every close season, once the announcement is made, there is an amount of money that to be released to these fisher folks for them to continue making a living. But in the absence of this, definitely, man must survive. So if you lock down the sea, maybe 2 or 3 months, how are they going to survive? If that is their livelihood, politicians will continue receiving salary every month, receiving salary allowances every week, and the fisherman is going to suffer.
Yeah.
And so there is the need for us to also think about them. So we can create a special bank for the fishing industry, and this bank will support the fisher folks when we have exercised our power for the close season. I think that is the best way for us to go.
All right, Mr. Masana Mwale, the close season, a necessary evil, or I mean, it's outlived its usefulness?
In the close season, ensure sananga, ensure adjoy. There should be close season for the sea to rest.
Okay.
But it should not be applicable to the artisanal fishermen.
Why don't you think it's applicable?
Because it should apply to the industrial fishing trawlers.
But already they are also
the industrial fishing trawlers the closing of the sea must affect only the industrial fishing trawlers. Then also the government should, through the marine police, should be able to enforce the law by not allowing the industrial fishing trawlers to come to the exclusive zone. They should not come down at all. You know, esani trawlers say ameba wole ajeme niji exclusive economic zone 200 meters. 200 meters to the shore. They are not supposed to be there. By law, they are not supposed to be there. They follow octopus. I mean, kakadama, squid and octopus, they follow and then they come to the zone. And once they are transported, so they are supposed to see it in their watch room. In their watch room, the marine police, they are supposed, the Ghana Navy, they are supposed to see it to make sure that this vessel has gone to the exclusive zone to go fishing. And they go there and they destroy the Kura Bay.
So recently there was this piloting of the electronic monitoring system. Is it not meant to take care of some of these things you are saying?
You know what? These trawlers, when they are coming to the exclusive zone, they switch off their transponders. So that the radar will not pick them.
So that was one of the challenges they envisaged, that once you switch it off, you are not supposed to switch it off.
Switch it off. But
once you switch it off, then it means that you are liable for some sanctions.
So why is the law not applying today? Our time, the law was applying. Immediately you switch off transponders, I get the information, and then the law applies. You understand? You are sanctioned. So what I'm saying is that for the ordinary wule, get about close to cry, I close for only 1 month. That make a drama. She is sahani 3 months, 2 months close here. I close me. They do not do harm. Their method of fishing do not do harm to the Kura Bay. And then another thing too is that I say it should be based on scientific. You know, tuna is born in Ghana. The Atlantic tuna, they are born in Ghana. And they swim all the way to America, to the end of the Atlantic, and then they turn. By the time they get to America, they are so big. And then they turn, and they come back to spawn in Ghana. So we should know when the tuna come to do the spawning, and then you try to protect them so I will get a lot of tuna in the system. We have more tuna than any other country in the world. The Atlantic tuna, we have more than any other country in the world. So the close season must be based on scientific research.
But currently, is it your opinion that it is not based on any scientific?
Because I've listened to all the dialogue. The minister has not come out with any scientific results. Nobody.
You've not heard from the researchers that it is not.
I'm yet to see any publication. All the time I see politicians talking. I haven't seen any researcher talking that, this is the advice we give to the people. So they are not communicating to us.
So the close season did not start?
Once you have not communicated to me, you have not communicated to if I say me, I mean the general public. No kakuwa no kwe. Then I'll say you are just fero kokeke. Ni bo smaka ubafi. She said no, it should be based on scientific research.
Yeah.
If it's based on scientific research, fine. My brother was saying something about fishery production. He gave us some figures, but he didn't give us the source. So I can also sit here and give any figure, anybody, and without any source, and they say that is the gospel truth, which may not be the gospel truth.
Okay.
So whatever that figure you give to us, give us the source so that I also check.
All right.
And see what you are quoting, whether it is true.
All
so
right.
what I'm saying is that, in short, let's ananga, she said it's a shipon wule ahi canoe. I'm talking of canoe fishermen. Cholele agwagweja me mi cholele lele ni awilio na kene ake abramoto general use of DAF engineer she no ni ake abramoto opeto here society opeto here ne ke ya amele sa ne sami she me na mele sa ne sami.
Oh you are done. So that was Nia Masana Mwale, former Deputy Minister of Fisheries, representing the NDC on this political dialogue. You are still watching Joy News, and this is the last in the series of the regional political parties dialogue on fisheries. And the last one, we having it at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. That is where we are currently. So let me go to the NPP on this close season. Is it scientifically based?
I've sat here listening to my fathers and my seniors, former member of parliament and minister, sometimes, and I sat here and listened to some of his comments. I'm sorry, quite some of them are outrageous. Because especially, he made a point with respect to the Jamestown edifice we have now. I just want to put the facts.
Oh, but let's not go back, because he said that it started from Wait. So he said that it started from President Kufuor's time and then lived through to Mahama, and then Akufo-Addo went through.
Clear.
It's okay.
That's the point I want to clear.
So don't clear it now.
Okay.
Just go to the close season. We'll have the time to do that.
Very well.
So go to the close season.
Very well.
Go to the close season.
The 50 million. I just want to clear with the date. The contract was even signed in May 29, 2018.
Okay, so use some 30 seconds to clear it. What are you clearing?
The contract for that edifice, you see, that was signed on May 29, 2018.
His point is that. No, so his point is that as a former Deputy Minister of Fisheries, he actually led the payment of the design, right?
He made a point about sources. Here lies the case. Where is his source to that point?
Okay.
I am giving you a clear source.
Your mic.
My source is the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
Okay.
Ghana.
Which year?
No problem. Which year?
Which year?
When
I was a deputy minister.
When you're a deputy minister.
When I was a deputy minister.
So,
website is here.
okay. All right.
When I was there,
so between 2012 and
2009 to 2012.
Okay.
I think between when I was a deputy minister. Go and check the Ministry of Agric Accounting Department, or I can give you Mr. Kwate. Mr. Kwate was the director of Fisheries. He's an MPP man, though. He became an advisor to the current Minister of Fisheries. Go and ask Mr. Kwate.
Okay,
the
so
Kwate is Quaatey. That who paid for the drawings of the James.
So that's the matter that we will settle. But let's go on. Let's go on. Let's go on with it because Mr. Kote is not here. Otherwise, I would have walked. Otherwise, I would have walked to Mr. Kote to ask
Will
him
you
right
allow
now.
me to make my point?
He's listening.
Okay.
This. We are
so they do not have the benefits.
To the world.
The person
I'm giving you Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
Yes.
Fisheries Department. And I've given you Mr. Kwate, who was the director then.
So let's reserve
something that.
Let's reserve.
If I quote Mr. Kwate, don't tell me Mr. Kwate is not here. Mr. Kwate is listening.
Because he has not. He does not have the benefit of
JoyNews.
Yes.
You have a responsibility to fast check.
And that is why we are going to check. We are going to check. But currently, as you speak, Mr. Kwate is not here to say yes, you did or you did not.
I knew he's not here, and I gave a reference.
Yes.
So
we'll check. We'll check.
He will not be here.
He will check.
So go and fast check me.
We will.
I pay around 550,000 euros
for
the drawings.
For the drawings.
Yes.
So you
not only
so it means all the drawings. So it means that you also did different drawings, or is the same drawings that they based on in building the new harbour? Is it the same drawing that you paid for? Then we need to look for, because maybe they may have also paid for another person to draw. Okay, let's go on. Let's do the closing.
It's surprising that I even have pictures of the technical committee that went to China on that same project. I'm wondering where Mr. Namwale is. These
China
are pictures
our drawings.
of the technical committee who went to China.
The drawing is from Netherlands.
Okay. Let me
go to the
drawings.
Relax.
Drawings is from Netherlands.
Let's move on. Let's go to the close season. We'll deal with this matter. Let's go to the close season.
All right. So close season. Now, with respect to the close season, scientifically, we agree that close season ehikehawo. Scientifically, keji agbele close season alo anga in short omboni wo you. Emo loegbe ni amenyo amebrido na amefo babao keha wofe mofiamo kemikpagbe ake.
Okay, so in the next 5 minutes we'll engage the audience. So when the mic is brought, you raise your hand. We'll take 2 questions from here, 2 questions from here, 2 questions from here, right. And then they will answer, and then we can go for the last batch of questions. So please allow the people that are speaking to speak at the appropriate time. The next 5 minutes, the microphone will be brought, and then you can ask your questions.
So what touch you name because otwebola fe. We agree that close season ehi ni keji angmelo egbe ni ameshwe wana lepi later on. Granted, incheme woleme ke fisher folks ni your fishing community here. Ama make wolf income fe pangbe ke anga insure 1 month alo 2 months emi wa fio part at the end keji agbele etana babak na te sure mo fi mo agree ake ana lo epi scientifically.
Okay, wait. So go on.
So
please relax.
So e kagbe wo fe wo agree ake. Yes, we must stress we feel for some few months. was stressed for a few months. She later on was now lower babao, that is increased productivity. Yeah, fishing industry. Yeah. Now when it comes to the fishing industry, after close season, government during this season, as a government, this our monitoring systems we have on our seas. Granted, they are not enough though, but we agree. During that period, later on, will not increase productivity. No, as fisher for the scientifically, I make a work back with you.
Okay, so now let's deal with the issue of plastic pollution and marine protected areas. How we can protect the spawning grounds for the fishes. 2 minutes each, and then we will be done. We'll go to them, please.
Hello.
Please.
Oh, funny.
Go on.
Funny. I believe, sir, the sanitation issues relative to the fisheries industry is quite problematic. When you go to the coastal areas, it's all full of rubbish. And at the end of the day, when our fisher folks goes for fishing, sometimes what they harvested is rubbish, no fish. And at the end of the day, affect our wealth, our well-being, affect the vitality of our environment. And I believe, sir, social education must be part of the fishing industry. Because if you look at the fishing communities, most of the fishing communities are not too hygienic. Because I believe, sir, we have not been able to do enough social education and social orientation. So to me personally, and what I believe we leaders or politicians should be able to do is to intensify social education on good hygiene and good health care. Without that, at the end of the day, it's just going to affect our fishing industry and our fishing profession. And so it has no boundary of politics. It is our own welfare, it's our own life. So I believe we need to engage the leaders of the fisher folks so that we also do community-based orientation and education. Because most of the times we go to the fishing industries, where I also come from, in the Volta region, you see a lot of plastics. And most of the times, it really affects the fortunes of the fishing industry. So I believe we can do much more public education and make it part of the policy as far as the industry is concerned.
Okay, all right. So let me go to the NPP. Mr. Ayala, we are talking about plastic pollution, the fact that our fishers go fishing and then they catch rubbish, plastics, and then now our marine protected areas are being encroached, and then the fish no longer have places to spawn. And that is contributing to the reduction of our fisheries stock. So 2 minutes, and then I will come to Nia Masa.
You agree with me that all across Africa, an issue of sanitation, not only to our fisher folks. Now, it's these plastics. That brings our country's issue of waste management issues. As a government, even in this constituency, Alo district, through a PPP agreement, there is a waste recycling plant. Yeah, district Neniji Ashedu Keteke. Granted, Anna Ekumemo to curb down our waste recycling processes. As a government, 1 year several factories across this country, close to 150 are on operation. Yes, it can back. More needs to be done, especially when it comes to waste management practices. Yeah, washia me lewe. What danger as wole me ke Ghana bi lewe. E kan gbe ake wa kase alo chose mo ni fale fe mo here. Isani ehi wo fe wo he ojugba. During the close season, it grants an opportunity to government as well. The stakeholders said now interactions, especially on not only on the close season, but on what fale femo allow hygiene as fisher folks in the fishing sector.
Okay.
But personally, that is the issue.
Okay. All right. Ni. So in the next 2 minutes. So after Ni has spoken, I will take 2 questions from here, 2 questions from here, 2 questions from here, and then they will answer. So yes. So they will answer. So they will answer, and then I will get back to you, and then take the last batch of questions.
Inkago. Be bonu ofe ni ne ka plastic ni bi na e ka ya show me no ha be ni NDC yo wo kana loko na chole zoil wo ke ba ni ameyen show na me lu rubber ka ni bi efe yen show na peshi yan show me la lu yan show me kole yan show me chebu yan show me Crowley, cocktail, and show me. Mene neighbor. MPP government, J. Amazon, Ameshka Metawo. No, pay J. Neshka. That's all. One Kenya will bring back joy like people at the beach. Bonafeni, Amekweni, allo, plastic, rubber, yen shona. But the plastic rubber, alo me male, ka buana, koni mena ba ho me na me kea. Ewo no ni itama kenye peji. Beni while education is going on about disposal of plastic materials, we also going to get a brigade like body to work at the beaches to make sure that they will clear all the plastic that comes to the beach. You know, in Ghana, I can ensure whatever that you put in the sea, it will vomit out. So once it vomits out, somebody must pick it and dispose of it.
Okay.
So if you don't have people to pick it and dispose of it, it will definitely go back to the sea and affect our marine life.
Okay.
So we are promising Ghanaians, we will make sure the Zoy-like brigade will be back to work for the people of Ghana.
All right. So you are still watching the Joy News Regional Political Parties Dialogue on Fisheries. We are coming to you from the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. With me is Dr. Walanyo Mensah, the running mate to the APC flag bearer. And next week, God willing, he can be a vice president of the Republic of Ghana. We also have Ni Amasana Mwale representing the NDC. He's a former Deputy Minister of Fisheries. And we have Ibrahim Ayala representing the NPP in this political dialogue. Now it's time for questions. And let me pick 2 questions from here. Okay. So when I come to you, please relax. When I come to you, when I come to you, relax. So when I come to you, 3 minutes. So you have 30 seconds to ask your question. You have 30 seconds to ask your questions. All right. All right. You have a question? 30 seconds.
Okay. I'll go. I'll find a way. Ago. Over.
So hold on. Okay, so I'm told the chief fisherman is here. So let me give.
I gotta go Jamaica. No name town my beer. No name town my beer. Kajeke. Money here my care. Nigga, I be questions. Question about beer. A baby will ke wola cheme. Ni ame die question allo mo fie money ya bi ene e bile san ne die na keke min ta nin ma bi ene da dan e bi question.
Okay, all right.
So he's asking whether the questions are going to be asked by them and who is going to respond to the question. Now he's also asking, are they going to answer those questions because they are in the industry, they know what is happening there, and they believe that so that is what they are saying. They are saying that are they going to ask the questions and who are the people who are going to answer?
Definitely there is a panel. Definitely there is a panel here who have spoken to us. So you are going to ask the questions. Listen. You are going to ask the questions and they are going to provide the answers to your questions. So the questions are coming from you and they are going to provide answers to the question that you will be asking. So that is why they are here. So ask the question. Let me go to the first one.
Ago. Over na chom nene achute ochi the fourth. Chief Fisherman Langba. Ike mabi wo panelists na metasha ke na ba UAP si no come gbawo na ye show na wo la cheme about light fishing. Light fishing ye wo beleana. Ka wona ke partner ba you light fishing ka ba stop. Si aba fe anwen be ashi ni kama bia ke na kanie ne ke 2 part aro 3 part ka me ba mini jini pot na me fia na ka lat ni mi gbara ba chona ka ba stop na ka live fishing wo belijan na lo.
Oh, you are done.
Achemi Noah Manote eje nugo avion. Emi enya gwa ka keji kan Japan motosio ne apio machine ahanye se gbe kan dade na ka pio aba moto ne abe na hu loko je aba kan solar machine wa ka wo ya lo enya gbaji no ni.
Thank you. let me take 2 from here.
Ago chama ganyeme. Agago. Ngba ji ni ngbotu. Yo wola chemuna, choko chemuna. Wo fe won ta onu bi ami. Me ne ba bi efio, me ne ba ji na afio. Wo bile ke wona bile wola cheme fe ni fian filife. E ba che wo gba ke kage petrol ba. No bo petrol na no ho. No minta ni ejie wona ke moni kela ke wo ho petrol de ejie wona. Eni petrol ni ba ka wo petrol emuji ka chon ko ju wo wole ka drum no ka chon ko ju minta ni ma ke ala ko de eche meni kela ke wala cheme wo ho petrol mini ejie wona minta ni ejie wona no ene pe ni ntawo ko de ejie wona.
Oh, you are done.
Yeah, my name is Theophilus Isaac Kwe. I'm here to represent assembly members Fanny on shore now. Ye Greater Accra. In question, she meet my correct or you mean with you. Of the premix J in Kuma, AJ. Premix is starting in Kuma, Rollins, they start no fine me correct with you. Oh fine Premix committee, the composition of the Premix committee, nye biami nye ke vo MPP constituency chairman ade. Na me form on a kind committee. Many yo Greater Accra. Niji hey ni yo Greater Accra. Akebaha me yo ye biene ni iswo ame in. Nimito makebo akeshi. Me fe many yo Premix say no. J many wale ake sake ame no. Many ame chuo ni ha party ni wale ake party boy say. Ama me yo Premix say no. Shino community on nye leji ake. There is an act that governs the operations of the Premix. Nineke airline, there should be a community development fund, which should be a section from the revenue. Ka ahonfu ole ayeshika kona jio aha community. Noni mlake ejake on a yearly basis. Esakashi committee be ameba bumambi akunta. Koni akwe noni akeshika bafi. Akeshika bawa wole menjio. School ya menjio. Community development NGO like keja 2017 kabata biane abu komoko akunta ni shika ko biake ingbeyo abake abake
to mana tapa to me no petrol short wo no ni bi nya fi o ma mi wo kwa nya fa NPPB ye nya egbewo nya emia wo nya epi wo abun nya fo wo se wo ka nya jase no nya eto nya agami nya ruadon
you are done. Wait.
Thank you. Please, good afternoon. I beg of you, please, I want to correct this. I'm a fisherman and I own 4 boats. My father is there, but I manage it, so I know what I'm talking about. I beg of you. And this one goes straight to, let me say, the MPP representative here. My own have to do with the chief fishermen here are well knowledge into the sector, and they are the actors. But here lies their case. I realize that, and the fishers, some of them are very good. The fact that in the olden days you consider them to be illiterate, let me say in that way, excuse my language, please, doesn't mean that they don't have any knowledge in their mind. If you are going to do a research, you don't consult them. Why am I saying this? Concerning this close season, I know when I was young, we have periods that the chief fishermen, collaborating with the fishermen, know that within these months, there will not be fish, which they know in their knowledge that the fish are going to sponge or they lay eggs. So within that few months, they are to come offshore once they are made in their nets. And they have natural signs that they use to detect that it's good for us to go for fishing. During September, July, August, instead that we go for Obwe, as my father is talking about. Fine. Considering all those things, you don't consider them. Then you come into the close season. And when we experience the close season, the 1st of 2019, 15th May to 15th June, after the closure, we have seen the harvest. From 2020, we don't experience because of the COVID. 2019, you change the date. And we are shouting fisher folks and canoe owners and the chiefs are telling that the date is not effective. Since then, we have not been catching the 5th time. You can attest your data. If I know this is what you are going to discuss, I could have also prepared with my data. So you are killing the fisher folks and the attest, the fish processors. So we are telling you, if you want to do anything, consider the chief fishermen and the actors of the game. Because our money has been wasted for so many years.
Thank you.
Kama Wiroko ya wo former minister in mina ke na mo ale ye shiba mi bier wota bi wo fe wono yai wota bi wo shigbe mo mi ni lele wole no bi jimi keji wo wie wo ya sande san wo wie lo jugba ni keji asusu wo ya ni bi aye san wo le me mo fia mo ke edwemu aba ateshi afiru ukeke ekotuma boda ba fi ache wo le me fi pe dan na jeshishi lele na gbina me tun na gba bibi ni oyi onyo na no fia no ikwo no keji na gba do ko ye attach na susu oyi to mo bi ni wo bi ene boni ayo na mo ale de yu ake abo ni ojeme ona na mo ale ye shiba mi boni oyu ake abo ni ojeme bo san bo draw plan e kani mi gbabo fire shiba mi me ye no draw plan e ko meji no na keji wo wie mo panify mi panify wa wole ma bi jiwo ni wole ma bi jiwo ka wo wie wo asane ni sha wo wie ko no gwa na tu ye de gam ni fi ade ni ma wie ni botue
Okay, so hello. Hello. So because you are not allowing us to continue, I'm afraid this is all time will allow us in this dialogue. So thank you very much for coming. We'll meet again same time when we have another dialogue like this. It's been an engaging exercise. I love the fact that you exercise some patience and then you sat here to have this conversation. Thank you very much. My name is Richard Kojenyako. Thank you.